Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. I am Billy,
Good evening. I'm Joe.
and we're coming to you on a Monday evening. Normally, we're going to try and make these weekly and at a certain time,
Yeah.
but occasionally Joe runs into some things that he's got going on, and I run into some things that I got going on. So please bear with us until we get like a permanent schedule going. So, welcome to the show. Joe is the host of um, uh, Indy's Local Flavor, and you can catch
Yeah.
him on.
I'm on iTunes, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and I started at Anchor FM. And we're not YouTube superstars.
Oh no, not yet, man. Not yet. We will. We will be. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And
All
so,
right.
if you guys are watching this, please subscribe to the button. I know all those YouTube videos are annoying when they ask you to subscribe and have an arrow pointing and do that, but please subscribe. You can also go to our Facebook page, the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on Facebook, and please subscribe to that page or like us, as they like to call it. And also, your Joe is available on SoundCloud.
Yes.
Yes. My program is called the Keeping the Nostalgia Live Show. A lot of it started out with basketball from the great state of Indiana. I've kind of gotten into a little bit of music, acting, authors. You go to Keeping the Nostalgia Live, all one word, keepingnostalgialive.podbean.com, and you can subscribe to that also. It's all about subscribing today. So, but
Yes.
before we kick off our show, of course, everybody can tell that I'm wearing my Indiana University shirt. Joe and I were chatting before. Joe is going to take us through a little bit of college football and the NFL from last week and this upcoming week. But before I go on, Joe and I were talking about before we started the show of how big this victory over Penn State was. And I claim that it is one of those things where they'll do paintings of the outstretched 2-point conversion like they did paintings of the Keith Smart the shot in 1987 in the New Orleans Superdome to win the 1987 NCAA men's basketball championship. It's a big game, and I know a lot of people are going like, well, it's the pandemic. It's a big game. It's a big
Oh
game.
yeah. It
Yeah,
counts in the win column, and
yeah,
it counts as an upset. So there you go.
yeah. And I mean, I think someone told me on Facebook that Indiana was like 2-21 against Penn State all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and we were talking before the show that I think Michigan was the last team that was really a big upset in 1987 with Anthony Thompson, who came in like second or third in the Heisman voting, and of course you were talking about Randall L. But I just think this is a huge victory for Indiana football, and it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. So this is a
Mhm.
big thing. So
Uh, do you know the magic number to get into? Are they even having bowls this year? I don't even know.
man, I would be talking ignorance if I
Me too.
said anything about that. I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay. Because I mean, the magic number used to be 6 wins.
Yes, and I read something about that, and I can't remember what the was about.
Okay.
Yeah. So Joe, give us a little bit of rundown on the college football and your NFL. Boy, your Raiders are kind of inconsistent.
I'll go into that one in detail.
Okay.
Um, the NCAA Big Ten scoreboard for today. Wisconsin beat Illinois earlier in the week. Ohio State beat Nebraska. We talked about IU shocking number 8 Penn State at home. Michigan beat Minnesota to win or retain the jug. I didn't know if they got it back or if they retained it or however that works. I was surprised that Rutgers beat Michigan State,
Yeah, that was a big upset.
and Purdue beats Iowa. And then I've always I've always been a big fan of Northwestern for their athletes being academia first and athletes second. But they were all over Maryland. Maryland scored a field goal, and you know Northwestern went to town on them. And on the NFL side, the Colts. There was a posting on Instagram today of a gentleman waking up out of bed with a Colts helmet on, and it said, The Colts are rising and shining today because everybody in the division lost over the weekend. So the Steelers barely beat the Titans. The Saints beat the Packers. The Bucks beat the Raiders, and I will not take anything away from the Bucks. Tom Brady looked like Super Bowl Tom Brady. Gronk looked. I didn't see the game. It wasn't broadcast here in Indianapolis, but I saw the final. Brady had 4 touchdowns, and the way I understand it is no one got into his zip code on the Raiders defense. And my problem is that's Pac-Man, right? So their defensive coordinator needs to go away. I'll give him credit for the Chiefs, but Raiders defensive coordinator needs to exit stage left, as Snagglepuss would say.
How would you rate how the coach of the Raiders is doing after coming back from being an announcer on ESPN for so long?
Okay, I think Gruden's doing fine. I have a problem with Mike Mayock, the general manager, because he got rid of Amari Cooper, the All-Star, and he got rid of Khalil Mack, the All-Star, and their defense is like a sieve right now. So they need their offense. They drafted 3 receivers all in a row in the draft, and their defense is not good. So I think Gruden's doing fine. Gruden's going to be Gruden, but I don't have any faith in Mike Mayock, the GM.
All right.
The Chiefs bucked the Broncos in snowy Denver. Did you watch the late game last night?
No.
Oh, man. I thought the Seahawks were going to run away with it, but no, the Cardinals came back in overtime and kicked like a 45-yard field goal to beat the Seahawks. So that's the Seahawks' first loss, the Titans' first loss. In Atlanta, I'm going to draw a blank on this guy's name. The Lions come back with $1:45 on the clock and beat Atlanta in Atlanta 23-22.
Imagine that.
Yeah. The Packers beat the Texans.
Huh.
I have a yeah. I have a little extra story about this one. 2 stories. I hate this name. I hate this name. The Washington football team. It's too safe for me. Pick a nickname. Beat the Cowboys. Well, a defenseman, Andy Dalton, slid for the Cowboys. He slid, was on the ground, and he got speared in the helmet. They kicked the Washington player out, and he was seeing stars. So the Cowboys are down to their 3rd quarterback. I don't know the guy's name. I think he's from James Madison. So, however, the good story from Washington, the other good story from Washington is Coach Ron Rivera is finished his final chemo treatment, and he coached the whole time during chemo. So,
oh wow, very nice.
I'm sure his family's happy for that. And 2 more, the Chargers beat the Jags, so everybody in the AFC South lost. And then tonight, the big Monday Night Football matchup here at 8 o'clock is the Bears at the Rams on ESPN.
The Bears. I think my favorite, we'll get to our Billy and Joe top 10 topic here in just a second, but I think my favorite name for the rest of the football season, especially with the Indianapolis Colts, is Rodrigo.
The place kicker?
Yes. I love
he's
that.
Great.
Rodrigo.
I call him Bob Greasy because the glasses.
Rodrigo.
Right. He's got the Bob Greasy glasses, though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. Place kickers are a funny position in the NFL. You can, and it's, I think Rodrigo, love that word, love his name, maybe a good one for the Indianapolis Colts to keep for a while.
I'll never forget when I was in a bar and they had a bunch of framed Colts jerseys. They had a bunch of framed Colts jerseys on the wall. And about 15 feet to the upper right was Vanderjet.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I loved it when Peyton told him he should stick to kicking field goals and not talking about anything else.
That's the polite way of putting that one.
Exactly. All right, Joe, go ahead and tell us about our topic this week.
Our topic is people need to, people talk about traveling, but they really don't explore America enough. So it's our cool places that we've been to in our lifetime. Top 10.
All right. You want to go ahead and get the ball rolling?
This was definitely a teaser.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a bonus pick?
You said 10 last week, so I know how to play by the rules.
I'm just joking, you man. All right.
I can come up with an extra.
I know you could.
This one was a teaser. What country? I'll give you a trivia question. What country is south of Michigan?
Indiana.
Country, not state.
It's south of Michigan?
Correct.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Windsor, Canada.
Oh, yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, because of the lakes, I think. I don't know exactly how that works. Anyway, my freshman year at the original Anderson High School, the band went to march at Detroit at the Thanksgiving parade, and it was colder than cold. Me holding that saxophone for 2 or 3 hours at 5 in the morning was fun. Anyway, when we got done, they said, "Hey, we're gonna go do some touristy sightseeing things in Canada." And we're like, "Great!" So we go over the border to Canada, and they said, "You have 45 minutes. Enjoy Canada." And I'm like, "Seriously?" And they said, "Be back on the bus at 10:30. I'm like, "Oh, fantastic." So yeah, Windsor, Canada.
You threw me off when you were asking me about that, about Michigan, because I think it's most of the time I think in joke mode, and
Okay.
I was told when I was a kid, why the wind blows north in Indiana all the time?
No.
It's because Michigan sucks.
Didn't.
There you go. Windsor, Canada. We spent some time in Canada when I was a kid, but Niagara Falls and across the border there in New York. Sure. But that's pretty cool. My number 10 used to be one of my favorite places to go. When my brother turned 21, I took him there, and my brother is 8 years younger than I. When my brother turned 21, I took him there. We had a fabulous weekend there. Unfortunately, I also went there twice to get married. And those two times have ended up in divorce. So the third time is a charm, and it wasn't even where close to Las Vegas, Nevada, but it's Las Vegas, Nevada. I used to love taking a trip and going there. It was quite enjoyable.
That's on my list.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen George Carlin at the Bally. I've seen Tom Jones twice at the MGM. I've seen, it's just, I saw Legends in concert. I went to a hockey game there when they were in the IHL. The Las Vegas Stars was their AAA farm team for the San Diego Padres. Yeah. I kind of know it like the back of my hand. It's probably changed quite a bit, but like I said, besides for those two times where I went and tied the knot and it didn't work out, but that's life. You live and learn. So, but I got Las Vegas running in there in number 10, and I would probably go back again.
Oh, definitely. Fun place.
I don't know what it's done with the pandemic. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. I don't know if it's just going to be memories of what it was. We'll find out. Yeah. We'll cross our fingers.
Yeah, exactly. My number 9. This was a trip when I graduated from college. Went down to Key West and then traveled up the coast and ended up in Tampa Bay. And I love Tampa Bay, Florida. It's a lot of fun. Nice area, beach, really nice beach. So Yeah, I'm a big Tampa Bay, Florida guy.
I got a spot on there, and we always would fly into Tampa to go, but I'll bring that up later too in my list. But yes, fabulous.
Hmm.
Yeah. My number 9 is Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh yeah, sure.
They have a fabulous zoo
Yes,
that
they
I've
do.
been to several times. They had the Cincinnati Reds and they had Riverfront Stadium. Of course, now it's the Great American Ballpark and the Cincinnati Reds, which I don't think any the team will ever be invested enough to probably win the World Series again. I'm always
Right.
disappointed about that, and that's kind of like my Las Vegas pick that the Cincinnati Reds aren't ever going to be what they used to be, also. But
Right.
and my number one place outside of Cincinnati was where the Kings Island theme park is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, once or twice a year, going to Kings Island, riding the Beast, riding the Racer, getting your picture taken with Fred Flintstone, having them
Yeah.
accost you when you come into the front into the park, and to take one of those pictures. So later on, you can get one of those little things that you can look through your eye with and see you as a group picture.
Yeah.
The Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
Man, the Scooby Doo roller coaster. Of course, they changed that to the either the Little Beast or the Mini Beast.
Yeah.
Oh man, the slide where you'd burn yourself on the slide because the burlap wasn't on your butt cheek.
Right.
Uh, you
And the
know,
waterlog ride.
oh, the waterlog ride where you leaned up toward the front so you can make sure you can get mom and dad or grandma and grandpa wet.
Of course.
Oh man, the vortex.
Yes.
Oh man,
King Cobra.
the King Cobra, the Screaming Demon.
Hmm.
Man, I didn't even write these down, so this is how fresh and how right on top of my mind they are in my memory. And then, of course, it was a blast watching the Brady Bunch film a couple episodes there when they were on air.
My favorite, hands down, was the Beast. Hands
Oh
down.
yes, yes. And if you didn't kind of hold yourself into that seat, you'd come out with some whiplash or something.
Oh, you get banged
You
around in the
you'd
seat
want
at
to
least.
hold Joe's hands up all the way down that hill, but you'd get chicken right at that end and duck those
No,
hands because you felt like they were going to just get whacked off.
not me. I never did. I was gripping on for dear life.
Also, too, the one year I spent about $25 trying to win a prize for my girlfriend, and
Hmm.
that girlfriend ended up being one of those things in Las Vegas. So man, I'm down a trip to Las Vegas and $20 worth of shooting basketballs.
With the small little rim. Good luck that going.
Exactly, exactly. Exactly. What a blast. And the pizza was awful, but it was good because it was Kings Island pizza.
I didn't think it was that bad, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was. It definitely wasn't Giacomo's. That's for sure.
that's true.
Good pick. Um, I love visiting California. So this is where I didn't know it at the time, but this is where the Beach Boys are from. It's Manhattan Beach, California. Everything's great about that, except unfortunately, going swimming there in the Pacific, the water's cold. But that's a workaround. That's no big deal. But the other cool thing about that was the first time, 21 years ago, that I tried Starbucks, and I don't do coffee. So, and this is not on the menu, but every location can make this. It's the caramel apple cider, and it's fantastic. But Starbucks is, you know, it's a little more pricey than your local convenience store.
When the economy is based upon how well Starbucks is doing, Starbucks needs to go away.
Yeah, well, I said it nicely, so I,
Yeah.
I concur. I concur.
Now you can always probably drive by, where Park Tudor High School was, where they had the apple place there, the cider place
Mhm.
there by Park Tudor, and get some good apple cider.
Yeah.
But uh, you know, uh, and you enjoyed yourself out there in California.
Oh
Memories,
yeah, definitely,
yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah.
Fun times.
My number 8 is two places: Sarasota and Daytona, Florida.
I've never been to Daytona.
Love both. Of course, went to Sarasota or Daytona as vacation places when I was a kid. Have gone there since in the past 20 years also, and it's just it's just a nice place to get away. whether it be on the Gulf of Mexico side or be on the Atlantic side, and
Hmm.
just to relax and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what is. Well, when I go to a beach, and also when I'm in nature, that's the two times all my stress fades away. Is that the same for you when you go to a beach?
Yeah, you can sit there, you can fall asleep without worrying about anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, love that.
Yeah, me too. Number.
It was always fun being a sports person too. Last time we went down, we went and saw the place where the Daytona's Cubs played, which
Mhm.
was a single A minor league baseball team where Jackie Robinson actually first started out. But
Okay.
all these places too, I enjoy. Kind of checking out the sports flip side of it. But I, in Sarasota, you have to fly into Tampa. They have Tampa Yankees, of course, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I was a huge fan when I was a kid, just because they were so new and no one liked them because they lost every game. But yeah,
Right. Yeah, and the great uniforms at the time,
exactly.
the dreamsicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number seven, I have family here. Um, when I was 12, went down here. We saw a Braves game and a preseason Falcons game in the same week there in Atlanta. So and you can go and visit the Coca-Cola Museum. You can go and to the Varsity and get some great local food there, and they have great shopping there. So yeah, I really enjoy Atlanta.
Very nice. Actually, this past summer, we stayed in Atlanta for about a week. I got to see Roger Kaiser, who was a member of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, and he has a golf tournament there every year in raising funds for his granddaughter. We have friends who live there also. Huge place, kind of like Houston, just huge. But before that, before the summer is really just going through that to get to Sarasota or Daytona or to Florida or to Orlando or Kissimmee or Disney World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, great place.
My next pick is Memphis, Tennessee. I lived there for a couple of years. Memphis. I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan. My daughter's
Mhm.
middle name is Presley, Taylor Presley. They. It's just like I said, and I've been to Graceland for about 7 times. It's in a real sketchy part of town now, but I think Graceland will, it's just a fabulous place to visit, especially if you're a music fan.
Mhm.
They did have a theme park also that Elvis Presley used to go to and rent out all the time. I think it was Libertyland, where he would ride the roller coaster over and over. But being Elvis Presley, he could close the place down.
Right, right, right.
But they also had the Memphis Chicks at one point. Now I think it's the Memphis Redbirds, which is AAA farm club to the St. Louis Cardinals. But we used to go to Memphis Cardinals games all the time. Great ballpark, AutoZone ballpark, I think it's called. They may have changed it
Mhm.
since then. But a lot of things to do, and you're right on the Mississippi River, and I'd do it all over again if I had the chance.
I haven't been there. I would love to go to a BB King's restaurant there,
Yeah, right off of Beale Street.
and I would love to visit the Stax Music Museum there as well.
Yeah, yep.
So, cool place. My next one, if you're a football fan, you have to go here. Have to go here. 10 years ago, I was fortunate enough for me and a couple buddies to go to Canton, Ohio, and um, they it doesn't matter what football team you're a fan of, every team's represented there. Lots of cult stuff in there, Baltimore and Indianapolis. Eric Dickerson is the only cult in there as of right now. That's going to change, of course. Um, so, um, do you know when Peyton is up for the Hall of Fame?
It's got to be in like the next year or so because I think it's
Yeah,
5 years they have to be out of football.
yeah, because I think Marvin was there. Marvin was on the ballot for this year and he didn't get in. So, but yeah, if you're a football fan, The bust room alone is worth going. And I don't know if they do this anymore, but I was fortunate enough. If you go between July 4th and Labor Day, I didn't see that discount out there this year. But if you go between July 4th and Labor Day at that time, you could pay $40 to go to the Football Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, which is great as well. They now let you take pictures of everything, which they didn't used to, and that's a fascinating museum.
Cool. I'm going to slap a state park in here, and it's going to be in the state of Indiana, McCormick's Creek State Park.
Love that place.
The memories, and like most of this stuff, is like with my show, keeping the nostalgia alive. I just because memories is what makes, is what you have and what you go to, especially if they're happy memories. And
Right.
my grandpa was a huge person with getting the whole family together and heading on out to state parks. I got another state park on my top 10 also.
Hmm.
A funny story though about McCormick Street State Park. My grandfather also was an avid history fan,
Hmm.
read books left and right. I have several books here. He's passed now. I think it's going on 4 years.
Hmm.
But also, too, the first time we went to McCormick's Creek State Park, we were walking out, and my grandfather said, "What's that in your pocket?" I said, "Nothing."
A rock.
No, it was rocks. And I
More than
said,
one.
more than one. And he said, put them out on the ground. I said, what are you doing? He goes, no, those belong to the park. It is illegal to take something from a state park. And,
Right.
oh man, you're crazy. Okay, there you go. He goes, and we started walking. He goes, your other pocket. Yeah. We
uh,
don't take anything from a state park. Empty your, oh man. So, but there's a lot of things that my grandfather taught me. But going to McCormick's Creek State Park with the family was just amazing and just great memories. And I recommend going to that state park. And also, you can stay. They have cabins there and everything else,
yeah.
and a hotel, I think, on
Yeah.
property. So, I recommend it.
Definitely. I've been there several times. It's a great place. Um, my number five. Uh, been a long time since I've been here. Um, Washington D.C. I went there a couple years after I graduated college with my dad, and I was born out there. I was born in Alexandria, Virginia. So, and I never been back. I did every school that I know of in the local Anderson area. Did the eighth grade Washington D.C. trip. Well, we couldn't afford it, so I didn't go. So anyway, um, we went out there for 3 days, and we didn't do a tour, so we covered a lot in those 3 days, like the mall and the Lincoln Monument and the Washington Monument. But if if you really want to do it right, you probably need a week for the Smithsonian alone, because that's worth going to. But yeah, the other funny story about that is we flew a connecting flight into Cleveland, and both times they got delayed. But the first time when we flew into Cleveland, me and my dad, there was this guy picking up his gear at the airport, and I went over. At that time, I always carried 3x5 cards and a pen, and I said, "Sir, would it be okay if I got your autograph? You're Lou Graham, right?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, I'm Lou Graham. Sure, I'll be glad to give you an autograph." So there you go. Met him at
That's
the airport.
that's pretty cool. That's interesting too, because I was just listening to Lou Graham Midnight Blue yesterday in the car ride home from work.
Yeah, great
Uh,
singer.
Neat that you picked Washington D.C. I spent the summer in Richmond, Virginia. Of course, we're going to bring up Wang Chung every show.
Okay, sure.
That's where I saw my first concert with Wang Chung opening up for the Cars. I've interviewed Wang Chung, Jack Hughes, and Nick Feldman. Check it out at
Right.
keepingnostalgialive.podbean.com. But Washington D.C., we went to the Supreme Court.
Oh, wow.
We went to Congress. We saw the
Wow.
Jefferson Monument, the
Yeah.
The Lincoln Monument. We went to the Vietnam Memorial. My dad
Right.
had a friend
Yes.
of his that died in the Vietnam War. His name was Buddy Sink. We found his name. I had a picture of me pointing at his name on the Vietnam Memorial wall.
Hmm.
I mean, like you said, just a week alone for um, the
Smithsonian.
museum, the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And what a man! Just maybe even 2 weeks if you really want to enjoy yourself and be entertained.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but loved Washington D.C. Loved it.
Hmm.
I know it's got a little bad rap now, but I'd loved it and go back and do it again.
I do it in a minute. Definitely.
Well, I'm going to stick with another state park,
Hmm.
and we're going to go to Turkey Run this time.
I was going to put that on there, but I did not.
I love Turkey Run State Park, especially the bridge.
Oh, the rope bridge. Yeah,
Oh
sure.
man, as a kid, you thought you were going to die. As an adult, as you got a little bit older, you're like, what was I? What was I? Why was I so worried as a kid? Like riding the racer and the beast. You cry and moan and whine when you were a kid when your dad tried to get you to go on them. But once you went
Yeah.
on them and once you had fun with it, it was nothing but a blast. But Turkey Run State Park is a fabulous place.
I haven't been back to Kings Island. I don't even know if I could do the beast now.
Oh man, we have here in San Antonio Six Flags.
Sure. Yeah.
And Six Flags is in St. Louis, and they have several
Like,
around the country. But
yeah.
I rode a roller coaster, and it probably took me a good 2 hours to recoup
Oh, I can
from
believe that.
from being
Yeah.
shaken around and everything. I almost felt like I had a concussion. But now after that 2 hours, of course, I wasted 2 hours of time recouping, and it was hotter than hell.
Yeah.
They had something like the Beast, and I rode it 2 or 3 times in a row. So you'll take a lick, and it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get back into the mode. But we may get dizzy or even sick being older, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, I last time I was here, yeah, it was 20 years ago. Um, I love this town. Um, and the food is top notch. Um, for my 30th birthday, um, went up there, stayed at the House of Blues Hotel, which is now Lowe's Hotel, I think. Parking was $25 a day, and um, ate at Gino's East. Pizza's that thick with cornmeal crust, and they had a Star Wars display at the Science and the History Museum, and it's Chicago.
Yeah. I lived in Aurora for about a year and a half, and lived in Oak Brook for about a year.
Yeah, yeah,
Anything you want to do,
yeah,
anything you want to do is there.
yeah,
The
exactly.
traffic's a little bit crazy, and you get a little cramped going downtown. But anything you want to do,
Yeah, yeah. The semis try to squeeze you out of your lane.
yeah. But the nice thing in Chicago is Chicago drivers all drive the same way, which is nuts.
I concur.
Here in Houston, you have 3 or 4 different categories of people, and 3 or 4 different categories of people drive different, and it can be a little bit dangerous. But at least in Chicago, everybody drives the same.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And now they
Okay.
got toll, which makes it even nuttier.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
oh
here in
well.
Houston, we have tolls too, and then you're only supposed to have the tolls to pay for the roads, and the roads have been paid for 10 times over. So toll roads suck.
But early and often.
Yes. My next one is Bloomington, Indiana. There's
Yeah.
nothing like Bloomington to go and watch a football game. There's nothing like Bloomington to go during the Bob Knight era and watch a basketball game. It's hilly. It's not
Yeah.
like the rest of the state of Indiana.
Mhm.
Great memories in the city of Bloomington, and I would recommend anybody who's going to spend some time in Indiana to go to Bloomington, and especially at this time of year, close to Brown County State Park, especially with the leaves turning.
Right. Yeah. I've been there a couple times, haven't been there enough. And one of my buddies is a DJ on the public radio station that spins records every week. I need to go down there and say hello.
Very
So,
nice.
my next one, I would not live there, love to visit there. I have family in LA, so I've been there several times. Um, Melrose area is great. You could pretty much buy anything you could think of there. Sunset Strip is great. Um, uh, that's the place I tried Fat Burger, which is on my top 10 burgers of all time. Um, the coolest thing, the coolest thing I did in LA, which is no longer there, which was a heartbreaker when I found out about it. And Elton John cried because he would go in there every week and buy every new album, was Tower Records. So, as the story goes,